Okay, this is our review, yes, for Demon House, and obviously things are a little bit different.
We're sitting down.
We're sitting down.
Which is nice, by the way.
It is nice, and there's a very specific reason for that. We will talk about the movie a little bit, but contents of the movie have opened up a far more interesting, hopefully, discussion between myself, the skeptic, and yourself, the not as skeptical / believer. So, stay tuned.
So this is a spoiler-filled review of Demon House, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Alright, you're back. Plot-wise, pretty simple. I believe it's Zach Bagans is his name.
Bagans.
Bagans, okay.
Of Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, thank you, because I wouldn't have known that. Anyways. Goes to Indiana and buys the house that the Amon's haunting occurred in, and then it's basically him, spending the night at the house, interviewing the people, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so we're going to do things a little bit different, so instead of doing likes and dislikes, we're just going to kind of talk a little bit about the movie and then get into sort of the bigger concepts. And I get to say right off the bat that even though we just said we weren't going to do likes, I did like the fact that this wasn't totally just I completely believe and so you must believe. He kind of did present some of the skeptical arguments, possibility of, gas from leaking beneath and causing hallucinations. They documented other grandmothers saying none of this stuff happened. So at least, I respect him for doing that. But ultimately, that brings us around to the bigger question. And the one that I want to start the conversation by saying that, as far as I'm concerned, as a skeptic, if you wanted to prove your position as a believer in whatever you want to call it, the afterlife, the supernatural, whatever it was, the single best thing you can do is actually apply the scientific method. Okay? That would work for me. So for example, one of the examples is at the end of the movie, he decides to spend the night in the house, and he boards up every door and window, right? Okay, that's a great start, okay? And then he gets locked in the house, then they put the last board on, and then the security cameras and the camera that he's holding kind of document the rest of the night, including the scene where he's kind of encounters the demon, which I know you had some kind of comment about that.
I did.
Which is?
Well, because so he's on the bed and then the camera goes blurry.
Yeah.
At that point, the dark shadow passes through, so you're not gonna see it.
Yeah,
it could just be anything.
Yeah.
It could be somebody in a dark cloak or something.
Right.
And then after I guess the shadow passes through, okay, Zach is in a pitch black house.
Basically.
The windows are boarded up.
Right, yeah.
He can't see shit. So how is he gonna see this shadow?
Well, I mean, if there was like a light on the camera or something.
There wasn't.
Maybe not.
Usually they don't have those lights on the cameras when they're ghost hunting.
Oh, when they don't?
Because they show you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so.
and Ghost Adventures, they show you, like, look, I'm going to shut the night vision off because this is what we're seeing.
Okay, I
and
gotcha.
it's pitch black.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
So.
Yeah, well, that wasn't done. But to further that point, okay, let's say that he did that and, something happened. Okay, so two things leap to mind. Number one, it would be great if you then said, okay, the next night I invited, skeptic, Randy the Amazing or something to spend the night at the house, and we filmed that, and if something actually happened, you'd have something. But even then, I would take it a step further, and I would say, okay, before I'm boarded up in this house, before the final board is put over the front door, I'm going to bring in a skeptic. They're going to comb the house to prove that there isn't kind of anything rigged or trapped or anything else. Because honestly, I mean, it is film. It's easily faked. You set up some device that throws something across the frame when no one's looking, But so if someone swept the house, because I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, do you think that guy that did the energy readings in the house, maybe he was skeptical in the beginning? You think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there was any real. I mean, they presented a little bit, but there wasn't that much. And certainly the locals were real true believers. But the other aspect of this, and one that I would have wanted to touch on, was that as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to proving or disproving the supernatural, I almost have to discount the human. And what I mean by that is that in the film, and what a lot of people are hanging their hat on, is the fact that after being in the house, the one elderly, investigator guy suddenly had organ failure, was in the hospital. Zach himself claims to have acquired this eye condition, blah, blah, blah. And they said, look, that's proof, man. That stuff doesn't just happen. Well, okay, actually that stuff does happen. It happens, and this is the fallback to all of the people stuff, okay? And that is that it's been well established and known that the human brain controls every aspect of the body, and not just in a positive way. These people want to believe. They want to believe they're the the smolder of the day. They want to believe more than anything else. Even so far as to have their brain damage them to support that belief. That can happen, that has happened. So take that out of the equation, and now I get to the non-human. And the non-human is where you could really hang your hat. It was like we were saying, you have a scientific method applied, and if there's some object that flies through the air, or something gets knocked over, or, anything that, temperature shift, something that can be measured scientifically. And I know that they have their little meters, right? And I'm sorry, but I never got a clear, and maybe because you watch the shows, what exactly, they said the meters were like measuring electromagnetic stuff or things like that.
Electromagnetic phenomena.
Yeah, but that's not, sad as to say, there could be a button on the back of the thing. Where was there...
Oh, man.
I know.
Man.
But above and beyond all that, you actually said something about, let's just cover the movie specifically real quick. You as a fan of Ghost Hunters and as a believer, you actually said something about this movie in regards to the credibility of it.
Yeah, sorry all you Ghost Adventures fan. I'm a Ghost Adventure fan myself. But this is probably the fakest Ghost Adventures of anything I have seen. I mean, a lot of the regular Ghost Adventures actually kind of terrified me.
Yeah.
It was really freaked me out. But that last scene, when the camera went blurry and that shadow walked by, I'm like...
Well, there was that, and there was something I brought up to you, and that was that I'm sorry, but him and his guys aren't very good actors.
Oh, no, well...
It seemed like they were acting when they were attacking each other.
Yeah, and they're kind of like that too a little bit in Ghost Adventures.
Oh, they are? Okay, well that was my take, but again, I don't know that that's just... I don't expect them to be actors. They're ghost hunters, or they're whatever. But I guess if you're doing this kind of a movie, maybe you shy away from that, Because the interviews with the family, the interviews with the officer, that was all very supportive, and that was all very good. Those were people that kind of wanted to believe in everything else. That worked, but then when it started to be affecting them, I kind of was like, but I guess if you're telling me that that's kind of the way that it rolls, whatever, I get it. The last bit, and the biggest bit for me, was the ending of the movie. And so, Zach says, I got my eye condition, the house is horrible, it's haunted, so I'm going to destroy it, and, spare everybody else from suffering, right? Well, again, let's roll it back to what I said earlier. Okay, you're just destroying. What he's really doing is destroying the ability for anybody else to go in there and provide supporting evidence for the supernatural. Like, if he honestly, because my thing is like, he wants to believe, right? That's the thing. So, that's great, but you have to just, you're not doing a show on whatever station it's on for however many years it's on for your own benefit. You're trying to convince other people, get other people onto your side. Now you have what I guess he's purporting to be proof, right? It damaged him. It had organ shutdown on this guy. They've got film evidence. They had that whole blurry ghost thing across the door frame, which is window, and yes, they went to the NASA guy, blah, blah, blah. Again, easily debunked, easily done, but then I'm like, okay, have people go back and spend the night again. Have 10 people, 100 people, whatever it takes, and yet you can't, because the house is gone. And I think even you were a little bit like...
Yeah, was perturbed.
Yeah, so again, like movie-wise, there's not a lot that we could say in our sort of traditional structured, likes, dislikes, pinhead type thing. Although I guess we will still have to give this a pinhead technically, come up soon. But the more important and the more interesting discussion is the skeptic versus the believer and the methods to go about changing either one of those perceptives for one side to the other or for some happy medium. Get it? Medium. Like I said, we're going to do pinhead, so here they are. What do you, as the fan, as the person who loves a TV show, going to give it?
Oh, I must be biased to actually give these pinheads, really. Because I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay, and it's not any problem being biased. I mean, that's part of the gamble.
I love Ghost Adventure.
You love the Ghost Adventures, okay.
So even though this movie kind of was probably the fakest shit I've seen that came out of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
still entertaining and still enjoy it.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm still a fan.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, obviously I'm not. However, I said earlier, and I got to stick by it, I got to give credit where credit is due. They did present some skepticism and some counter-arguments. So that alone is worth 1 pinhead to me. So my 1 pinhead, your 3 pinheads. Math-wise, it's going to be a 2 pinhead movie. All right, well, that is our spoiler-filled review of Demon House. It's also our little test here with sitting down, having a little chit-chat with you, bringing up some
like it.
Exactly, yes. Tell us not only that, but also if you're a skeptic, if you're a believer, let us know. We want to find out.